To order. And has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes, I have one addition under new business. Can we please add money market account?
Okay. Yep. And Jennifer, did you see my message last minute? Because we don't need those two items under the 7D. But we will talk about that when we get there. Okay, so can I get a motion to accept the minutes as revised?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Onward to the minutes from last time. Jennifer, just one thing. When you post these officially, you include the reports and the copy of the resolution and all that?
I've been sending them to Jess, right? When they're approved. And then I'm just sending the approved agenda to Tammy, or the approved minutes.
Minutes goes to Tammy, and then I put the minutes on our website, and I put the minutes in the agenda in our folder for.
Okay, well, those resolutions we've been passing,
Oh,
those
yeah.
are actually a part of the official minutes, so they should always be included.
Yeah, the resolutions are on our wwebsites, Facebook, and kept in our folder too, minutes folder.
But they need to go to Tammy as well.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, because those are official actions. So they're actually a part of the documented history of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so anyone have any corrections to the minutes? I'll take that as a no. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes as they stand?
So moved.
Thank you. You need a second?
Who was that?
Kevin.
Sorry, that was Kevin.
I'll second it.
And Chaz seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Very good. Well, Paula is. Kevin, Paula would like you to resend the meeting link to her.
I know, I'm looking for that now.
Okay. I'll tell her you're on it. Okay. So let's move on to the director's report. Jessica sent that around to everyone.
yeah, I sent it to everybody. I'll just do a brief.
Yeah. A recap.
Yeah, a very brief recap because there's a lot on it. You asked last meeting about the cost of having one substitute to work all the hours in the library while we're open for 2 weeks or longer. It would be 33 hours times the minimum wage, which would be $389.40 per pay period. But I noticed for phase 2 of reopening, curbside and restricted library access, we probably will need 2 full-time substitutes, which would be a total of 1 month would be, let's see, for 1 month for one person would be $778.80. Times 2 would be $1,400 maybe per.
Right, but I wonder if we'll actually need 2 people for a full month. I mean, I definitely would see the first week or 2 because you're going to have all that stuff coming back at once.
Because I'm thinking about curbside. Yeah, curbside pickup is going to be a lot of scheduling, people phoning, people have to go in and out the door. When we're restricted library access, somebody has to watch the door from people coming in and out because only people can phone call. And I wrote it down in the report.
Okay. Honestly, I would keep the door locked. Because then you don't run into the issue of someone running in saying, I just need to use the bathroom. If it's restricted access, if it's only employees inside, leave the door locked. There she is.
Yeah, appointment only. So, but to keep, because we are going to be going in and out of the door all day. So sometimes the door will be unlocked, and when we walk out, somebody might walk in, and we'll just have to tell them not to come in.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to start getting used to this.
So basically, Jess, what I think I hear you saying is that to provide that level of service in the month of June, we're looking at around $1,400 at the most, depending on
If there's two
schedule.
subs working month, yeah, for 2 subs at one time, full time, but I don't know if we'll need that many.
Right, right. So basically what we would be doing tonight is authorizing up to, I think. Well, what do people think? I think this is something that we have to do, and I think that we're in a position that we can do it financially, personally.
Another thing to consider while we're talking about this is when you bring in more employees, you have to be more concerned about the social distancing, more PPEs available to them. We're going to, everything that involves a regular employee, we're going to have to include in with the subs too.
Because I have a feeling we're going to need 1 sub for at least until we do business as usual. When we fully open, I think we're going to need a sub the whole time.
Jess, do you have people? Do you have people on a list? I mean, do you or do you have to start looking for somebody?
No, we have 3 subs on our list.
Okay.
But it just looks like when I was doing all the phases and planning, we're going to need a sub at least for a while, at least one.
I think we're certainly going to need to do something in the month of June, and then we, can talk. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, right? We don't know what this rebound is going to look like, so we're all kind of guessing in the unknown right now.
Well, we can go ahead and approve, up to a certain amount for 1 month, because we'll meet again before that month is over.
Yeah, so I guess I make a motion to move $1,500 from unforecasted revenue into the part-time salary budget so that Jess can hire people if necessary to provide the level of service we're looking for in June. That was very long-winded, wasn't it?
This curbside, I notice is just 1 extra person we need to take shifts going in and out the door.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take. I think it's gonna take a little while for you to figure this out, and we just, I personally want to make sure that you have the flexibility to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, because there's going to be people calling every minute. There's going to be people emailing, placing holds constantly. People dropping by.
Until things settle down.
It's going to be wild the first few months. They're just going to be crazy.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table to move $1,500 into a fund to be able to pay for additional staffing. Is there any other discussion on the subject?
This is just
Okay,
for the
can I
month
get a
of
second?
June, right?
Well,
we're
let's
just
say
moving
for the
money into
first
that budget
month of
category.
reopening.
Yeah.
What did you guys say?
It's going to be just for the first month of reopening,
Correct.
Okay.
whenever that is.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Because I was going to say later, there was an email that came out today. I don't know if all the trustees got to see it. Jessica, you probably saw it. Originally, libraries were lumped under phase 4 with education, and there was some discussion with the state, and there's a possibility they're moving up to phase 2. But even then, that's still not going to happen for a couple of months, or excuse me, a couple of weeks at least.
And it's phase 2 is
and of course, yeah, and of course, if something happens with the numbers, the data and everything, and it gets screwy, we get shut back down again.
Right.
So we'll just go 1 month at a time instead of trying to call out specific months. Okay, did someone second that?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
What did you say?
Actually, the cost of 2 subs would be $1,557.60.
Okay, we won't be over budget in that category. So if we move to 1,500, we should be
We'll
fine.
hold you to it, Jess.
Okay. It's a little over 50.
We'll go over that 57 cents, ma'am.
Yeah, $57.60. It gets confusing minimum wage. It changes every day.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. And taking a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? I didn't hear all voices, so all right. All right, Jessica, what else have you got?
Some pump sensor was finally installed.
Yay.
We have been working on trying to get that installed for, I think, 6 months. I don't even know how long it's been, but it's finally installed. It took over 2 hours. I updated all the computers while they were doing that, so it's fine.
Okay, great.
I got permission from the school's principals to purchase books for every student between pre-K and 8th grade.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's going to be 587 books.
Wow.
It wasn't that bad of a price. The total cost was, let's see. I purchased 610 brand new books from the book bank for $370 for a total of 63 cents per student.
That's great, Bess.
Yeah.
The brand new Disney age-appropriate books. A lot of them were made by Disney, but Star Wars type books.
That's great.
Different things. I hope they'll be there by June 3rd. That's when they need them.
Okay.
Are you including anything else with the books? Any information or bookmarks or summer reading info or anything like that?
I'm including a label in each book with our name in it, and it says thanking of you, a little flower, and yeah, put it in
Jennifer,
each book.
In answer to that question, tomorrow, Celicia, Jessica, and myself are meeting to kind of like come up with a little bit more on that. I mean, we've been doing planning for summer reading, but there's there's some little things that we need to tweak and finish out on that, and that's why we're finally getting to meet tomorrow to do that.
Okay.
So, but I would say it's pretty planned out. But like you say, there's some little things that we all could brainstorm about.
Okay.
Also think about, like you said with the label, if we kind of know about reopening by then, that might be a good spot to stick a little note in there about an updated policy or how we're going to kind of run things. It might be a good way to kind of reach everyone that may not have access to the Facebook or aren't thinking about the library at the moment.
Yeah, honestly, the more ways we can get the information out, the better off we're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bottoms to reach.
And congratulations, folks, on those numbers from Facebook. That's really great for the
That's
size of our
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just wonderful. Unfortunately, it also shows us that we can't do away with online programming once everything gets back to normal. So we'll have to down the road. We'll have to figure out how that's all going to work out. But everybody, well done. And Jessica, I see that you also got stuff together for the seniors and the families.
Oh yeah, I'm working on those. Still waiting for some of the items to arrive before I pack them up and give them to the people.
So, Jess, should I bring those gift certificates to you
tomorrow if you can, if you have them?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so I can put them in the tote bags. I'm just working on those, but Amazon takes their time shipping things, and get little at a time, and nice. Also, we've done 3 outreach programs working on serving a total of 717 people. The total cost is $1,140 or $1.59 per person, which is pretty cheap for programming.
That's good.
That's very good.
And we're buying a lot of stuff for these people. It's not just like one book and that's it. We're getting like thanking of you postcards, sunflower seeds, journals, bookmarks, stress balls with little smiley faces, coloring books, cookbooks. We're getting all this stuff for only $1.59 per person. That's buy in bulk.
Really good. Yeah.
Well, you know what,
and
too?
Little smiley
this is a way that people can see that the money they're paying into taxes for the library is coming back to benefit them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, it's very good.
One last thing is, what was that?
Nope, go ahead. I was going to say the same thing you are.
The one last thing is E-rate. it was approved. We're still going to continue to pay $12 a month for internet service, which is unheard of. When you think of internet, what is it, $90, $100 a month for people?
Yeah.
Look it up.
Well, Kevin, you let us know if that breaks us, okay?
Yeah.
It's covering 80%. That's still good. That's good. I mean,
Love to pay
good.
$12 for internet.
could you imagine internet service $12 a month for everybody?
Holy.
Yes, I can. Please. I can imagine it. Make it happen.
So I also see one thing I wanted to point out in your numbers that you list on the second page. We've added over 100 card members to our library. I see that.
Yeah, I don't know
Right.
how that happened. Maybe I think they're either, I don't know how that happened all of a sudden.
Well,
I
we
think
pushed
people
so
are
much that
signing
if
up
they wanted,
online.
yeah,
I
I
think
say
so too.
if they wanted to be able to get ebooks and audiobooks and
Exactly.
things, they had to sign up online.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
excellent. So we're growing without even trying.
Oh, no, there's a lot of trying going on.
Oh, I know. I'm
Behind the
teasing.
scenes,
lot
when
of
nobody
time.
sees. Yeah,
No,
behind the
and
scenes, nobody knows.
and you'll hear this 100 times, but we really appreciate the three of you and all the work that you're putting in at home. I know you're putting in more than your normal hours. And the library board appreciates that very much because I know the community appreciates it a lot.
Mhm.
So we're showing, the rest of Central New York that if this little library can do it, the rest of them can do it as well. And we can get through all of this.
Mhm.
Kevin, your finance report.
Okay, so
We have no unscheduled bills? What?
we have no unscheduled bills.
We've been paying them. They're gone.
The balances are in the report, so no motion to make.
Excellent. I like when things work. Correctly.
Just a NIMO bill, that was all. National Grid, one bill.
No. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Let's move right along to our period for public expression. We Chaz?
Nothing in either format, so.
Okay. They must love us. They don't have to sit down in a meeting with us, right? Hey, I like that. I'm running with it. Any correspondence or communications?
Or they're eating dinner.
Yes, don't burst my bubble.
Watching it while eating their dinner. This is a soap opera for people to watch. Or a talk show.
No, with the library building, we got the Brady Bunch going on here.
Yeah, Brady Bunch and talk show. No, nothing except for the email I sent a little while ago. That was about it.
Can you
That
send me the
email.
address for that? Or no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Because I
definitely
sent
want
you
to
the
get that.
addresses to the other donors.
Yep.
Yeah, the other three. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
was the only
definitely want to get that
communication.
thank you right out.
Yes.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
we have like a library thank you card or no? Or do we just send out a generic one, or how do you?
I usually send a letter out.
Letterhead with the
Yeah.
library. We have a thank you card for libraries, just a regular thank you notes, generic thank you notes you can use.
Mhm. I didn't know if we had like a branded one that a thank you card or anything. Just checking.
No, but that's a good idea. You just signed up for it.
Create one. You can create one.
In your spare time, Jennifer.
Yeah.
No problem. I just made
Feeling
3
fine.
budget newsletters today. Just whipped it out.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll move on to old business. At this time, there's still no actionable items that are outstanding. So Kevin, capital project, where we stand?
I am trying to set up a meeting for you and I to meet with Mike Lissell next week to put this to bed.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're around for the most part during the day.
Yes, mornings next week happen to be tight just because I have an appointment almost every morning in
That's
class
fine.
tech.
Afternoons are generally better for me. So as soon as I hear back from him, Jim, I'll call you.
Okay. You know what I'll do, Kevin? I'll send you a quick rundown on my schedule for next week.
Okay.
So when you're talking with him, you can set something up right then, right? Because I know Mike's not easy to return calls and get back to. And
Okay. For C, the endowment fund, I'm going to table that till next week's meeting because I have to go into the library tomorrow, meet Jess, refill out the paperwork for the 50C3, and then just file it. So I wanted to wait for that to be done before we vote on the endowment fund, but I would, I guess that's new business. So that's the update on that. What I need though is I have to get in touch with Nancy and ask about the town's lawyer and have the resolution sent for a review. I haven't done that yet.
Okay. Nancy can give you an email address for them.
All right.
The lawyer is another one of those things, Kevin. You're going to have to follow up with them.
Okay.
Because the two times I've had to deal with them, I've not gotten a response in a couple of weeks, so I have to follow up and chase them down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 'cause we got a new town lawyer because they replaced Allison.
Yeah. Somebody's got a call coming.
Yeah.
All right. The response to the COVID-19 outbreak. Jessica, you've been adding to the pandemic response, and I see Paula had, Paula, you commented you made some changes. I didn't see them though.
I did. I think Jessica might have integrated some of them into the document.
Okay, so I probably saw them in there already.
Yeah, you probably did. Yeah, I can go in and let you know what they were, but I've got to pull it up first.
Well, and this is going to guide us going forward. I don't know if, I mean, Kevin and I both have businesses, so we had to look at those guidelines from the state. I don't know if anyone else has seen the document. It's 11 pages long, and it's very involved. And the library is going to have to follow that as well and sign off on it. So marrying that with your pandemic response would be a really good idea because you probably already got a lot of the stuff accounted for in there. But we're going to have to do a lot of signage and posters and things.
Are you talking about the New York Forward Business Opening Safety Plan? Yeah,
yes.
Oh, I just filled it out. I filled it out and got it done.
Keep in mind that when you sign that affirmation, that you are saying that you are going to adhere to those guidelines as they're listed, because you're not asking for any variances. That was the question that came up with the governor today about the liability of someone getting sick at your place of business.
Oh.
Melissa de Rios, his right-hand person there, sitting on his left, spoke up and said, as long as you're meeting those guidelines, you're pretty much protected.
Right.
It's when you deviate from those guidelines after signing that affirmation, then you could get into trouble.
Oh, I didn't see a signature page on this. I see 7 pages and no.
Oh, no, it's an 11-page document. Is the guidelines.
Oh, this is Department of Health reopening plan template sheet.
Nope, that's a little different.
Yeah, it's just you write in, you ask you questions, you write it in, and in case a health inspector comes to visit. Yep.
I will email you the link for the other New York State thing. Okay.
There's a lot of reports. A lot of reports and guidelines.
The way it's going to be.
A lot to remember.
Does anyone have any questions as far as our response and the reopening? I mean, now is the time to start asking the questions to make sure that we can have everything in place when it comes time to reopen.
I just want to make sure that our people are safe, that's all, and that they're not being put in a position of having to argue with someone because they don't want to follow the rules. And I don't know how we do that, but that's what I'm most concerned about.
You know, this actually, I know where you're headed. This came up with the friendship shop the other day. And Peggy and I were talking, and I said, if someone says that they have a medical reason, a medical excuse for not wearing a mask, they better have that documentation on them. Because when the authorities are called, they're going to have to produce that when the officer shows up. If they have the documentation, That's fine. They still have to stay 6 feet apart.
Right. Because, like, if somebody walks into the store without a mask on, I'm the one that gets the ticket because we let them
right. That's right. And it did come up in discussion, library discussions before, that yes, the library can refuse to allow someone to come in if they think that they're sick. They're showing more than one symptom of the COVID infection, or if they refuse to wear a mask and don't have a valid reason for not wearing it.
Jess, I'm wondering if we want to ask the security firm how much it would cost to put a buzzer on the front door.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad idea.
It's just worth asking just to see.
Front and side door?
No, I think the
side door.
No, you can't put it on only the front door because the side door is the only ADA compliant door.
All right, well then, whatever door. But I'm just thinking of.
At this point, I'm concerned about making the side door our main entrance for people coming and going, because once the parking lot project starts, the only parking area or curbside area will be the curb out in front.
Right.
So, it would have to probably be both doors or not.
Yeah, I'm just curious how much it would be. I mean, I think these are the things that we have to look at because, obviously, we don't really want jumping up and down all day long if you can push a button.
Kevin, that's a valid point too. When we talk with Mike LaSalle, is to point out to him that is our only ADA compliant entry point. So I don't know if he's figured that into his design and how they're going to work the paving and the construction, because they're going to dig all that up. But we still got to have some way for a handicapped person to be able to get in.
If I remember,
do we have a start date?
No, we're meeting with them next week.
Usually builders accommodate for
maybe
that.
This won't even impact the first. Yeah, maybe it won't even impact the start.
Right, because they're in phase 1, so they could, if we wanted it done starting tomorrow, once all of you go out and get your test tonight, because that's the only way we're going to get our numbers up.
Actually, Onondaga County did that for us.
I think
we are. The governors show that we are essentially the only ones who are not ready to open is Western New York, Buffalo on down, and Eastern New York, Albany on down.
We all went on Friday because part of the thing is if you show that you had your staff tested and you show you take normal temperatures, that helps with the liability, but it also helps get our numbers up. So we all went down there to Griffiths Air Force Base on Friday.
Yeah. Well,
I do have a question. Sorry. Yes. Are you have we thought about when they do start this construction project, how if we are doing curbside pickup, where we are doing it and how we are going, because the curb is going to be a lot farther away.
So
are we going to be able to have parking somewhere in front or on the side?
My impression from what I understand from the last go around is we will lose the parking on the right-hand side for the duration of the project. There's going to be a lot of time spent in that field, putting in drainage and stuff like that.
Right.
But when they're done with that, the parking is actually going to be a zippity-doo-dah 2 or 3 day thing. The big work is in the drainage in the side yard, and they need the room to be able to work. So we're going to lose parking spaces for quite a while, but in terms of a complete closure, I don't think it's going to be a long period of time. I think it'd be like a long weekend. That's what I'm hoping.
So ideal, yeah. So again, as Paul was saying, it'd be ideal if we could get this done before we reopen, or at least while we're in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Just curbside.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is it something worth asking if for some reason we don't have the parking spaces or able for vehicles to get in and out, to let us block off like 2 spots in front of the library?
I think it's reasonable to ask the town. Absolutely. I think
there already is one parking space that is cleared for us. Because I've had to ask the business across the street to not park there because they were parking there in winter and it was making people climb over snowbanks. So I called the business across the street and just expressed were they aware of the sign, and they just didn't really pay attention. They're just used to, that's their business. They parked there. They didn't know and they apologized. So we do have at least one good size parking spot, and we have the, right coming down the front steps all the way to it is a sidewalk as well. So.
Yes. Yeah.
So the problem being, and I had suggested to Jessica, we should invest in some cones that we can put out with signage on it that says reserved for curbside. Just at least one spot.
You know what? The town has got to have them.
Yeah, the town should do it.
That's what I said. Yeah, town.
Mhm.
You know, or maybe even they even have sawhorses or something that they can put there to hang a sign on or something.
Just a temporary
Right.
order there.
That we would bring in at night or once we're, you know, depending on what our hours are going to be.
Sleep out too. Someone takes them, it's the town's.
Okay.
Right.
Now, any other questions on our response? Okay. I'm sure we'll come up with more as we go along.
Jess,
I just didn't know about limiting hours.
Huh?
Say again?
I didn't know about limiting hours during curbside. Do you want us open like 4 hours a day and spend the other 4 hours doing online programming and things?
I think you're probably going to need a time in the morning and a time in the afternoon, but I can't imagine you're going to want to do the entire time.
Yeah, that's what I put down. Maybe 2 different times, one in the morning and one in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like 9 to 9 to 11 and 2 to 4 or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know really, because I can't sit doing curbside 8 hours and then going home and doing online programming. I mean,
no, you've got a valid point. I mean,
to do that now.
We should have time in between, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. I think it might be something flexible.
I don't know if any of you guys have been to Rudy's in Oswego. They have a very complete system with their online ordering, and what they were doing is when you would order online and then you would pick kind of your pickup time, drive to the parking lot, and when your order was ready, they called you and got your, in groups of like 5, and you lined your car up and they just handed you out. I mean, it was really efficient. So maybe we can establish some pickup times and put those people in. Your pickup time is here, and we'll line you up and come out as a group and get them in and out. But I was really impressed by how efficient they were in getting things.
If you've ever seen Rudy's on the inside, I've never seen a place run more efficiently.
Yes, they were very efficient.
So.
Whereas I've read some horror stories on Mother's Day, and they were perfect. We barely waited.
Oh yeah.
So,
okay. Anything else?
We can alternate days. Maybe we can alternate days where some days we're open from like 10 to 2 and then 2 to 4. Then another days 2 to 6. Like alternate maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about it next time.
Right. Well, and another thing you have to consider too is the whole issue of fees. I mean, if you tell someone they can come back and pick up at a certain time, they're going to want to return stuff that same day. And if it's a day or two after their items are due, they're going to have to waive the fees.
Yeah, consistency might be good in that situation for people so they know on any given day what time they can go.
Right.
So they have to look it up.
Because the fees are going to be waived for probably a while.
They're going to have to.
We get the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
NCLS has been pushing for us to stop fines for quite a while. I don't see any way to be able to be fair with fines during this pandemic.
No, it's not possible. All right. Anything else on the pandemic response? Okay. Kevin, you had something you added under new business.
Yes. I would like to make a resolution to open up a new money market account. And the purpose for opening up this account is to make sure that we don't exceed the maximum amount in a single account so that all of our funds at the bank are insured.
Okay. This has come up because of the recent endowment, and it's larger than the bank would normally allow.
Correct.
So it's good thinking. Thank you for remembering that.
Yep.
So we'll need to draft a resolution. Do we have to draft a resolution just to open up another account?
No,
I don't
it's
think
as long
so.
as it's in the minutes, that's all.
Yeah, you just make a recommendation and then we'll vote on it.
Yeah, we have to vote on the recommendation, but we don't have to draft a formal resolution.
Okay, so Jennifer will note it as a recommendation from the treasurer that we open up a money market account to split funds to ensure that they are insured by the FDIC.
What's the name of the new account? I know because we have genealogy account, we have the operating account. Is it just
Money market.
account as the endowment?
It's going to be
Just
known as a money market.
Okay.
And
Generic general name.
Yeah, it's a generic for
market.
now because we have to move it into an investment account, but it's not time yet. We have to wait till we do the 501c3.
Right.
Okay. So it's just money market. Okay.
So recommendation to open a money market account to split funds in order to be insured by the FDIC.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, we have a recommendation on the table. Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. I need a second. Jennifer,
I'll
that
second
would, or Paula? Yep, that's good. Thank you. Kevin can't do it.
That's right.
that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Now, the other thing too is I will be bringing all new signature cards because apparently the bank they haven't been cleaning out the old signature cards. So I know that it's Chaz, Paula, and I, correct?
Mhm.
So they're going to print out all new signature cards. I'll pick them up at the bank and I'll leave them with Jess probably tomorrow because I'm going in there. Actually, you know what, Chaz, I'll mail them to you and then maybe you can mail them to Paula. And then Paula, if you don't mind mailing them back to the bank, that way we'll get them back. Is that okay?
Mhm.
It might be a little faster. Yeah. Okay. Anyone have any other new business?
No.
All right. Let's look at our schedules for the next meeting.
So I would suggest that we meet that last week, perhaps the 28th, which is a Thursday. I do think we should meet before the 1st.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't hear.
Yeah,
We're looking at the 28th, 6 p.m. work for everybody?
Is that a Thursday?
Yes.
Is that all right?
That works. Yep.
Okay. 6 p.m. another Zoom meeting. We're going to continue meeting this way for a while, I guess.
Can you send the resolution?
Sorry, say that again, Jess.
Here, Jess.
Can you send the resolution?
It's which resolution?
The new, oh, do you have a new resolution at all? For
No.
me to,
Oh, we put it in that we're going to follow the governor's guidelines, so we don't have to keep doing it.
oh, okay, I thought there was a new resolution to file.
Nope,
Oh,
we're good.
okay.
Does anyone, do any of the trustees have anything for executive session or Jessica?
No.
Very well. Then if I can get a motion to adjourn,
So moved.
thank you.
Who did that?
What's that?
I can't hear. Who did it?
Kevin.
Sorry, I should be telling you that, yes. So Kevin's made the motion to adjourn. I need a second.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor, we're out.
Aye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day, everyone.
Yes, take
Goodbye.
care.
bye.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Mm.